Just to recap, 5C, I am King Louis XVI of France, and you are the French peasantry seething with resentment at 100 years of poverty and depression. I am about to escape from the Palace of Versailles when you capture me and make your demands for a new and fairer constitution. And remember, when you're storming the palace, think about your verb endings and adjective agreements. Just because you're in a state of revolutionary fervour does not mean that grammar goes out of the window. Right. Are we ready? OK. Off we go, then. I heard someone say, "Vive le Révolution." How many times do I have to tell you Révolution is feminine? And Adam Huntley, I felt that. This is not an excuse to physically abuse me.
And other old boys include Sir Duncan Faversham, Vice Chairman of British Linoleum, who left the school in 1953, Martin Kirkland, Director of the Hertfordshire Trout Farms Association, on Newsroom South East only last week as a matter of interest, and one of our most famous old boys, whom I'm sure you'll have heard of, Sir Bernard Trinton, who, of course, invented the Trinton. Follow me.
Mr. Piper, the statue?
Yes, it's a fine piece of work, isn't it? Especially commissioned for...
Did one of your pupils do that?
Probably the art department. Yes, I gather they're doing the surrealist this term.
So now we come to the modern languages department. We offer a variety of languages, including French and German.
Any others?
Well, we do English, of course. That's Mr. Didcot's classroom. Here within the fortnight.
Mr. Piper, we'd like to think about it, if you don't mind.
Good, so we'll see him on the morning of the... Pardon?
I said we'd like to think about it.
Yes, by all means. About what?
About whether we want to send James here. You see, to be perfectly frank, everything seems to be true.
Does it? What?
The things people are saying about the school.
What things?
You see, we went round St. Bernard's last week.
Yes?
Pupils opened doors for us. They made us a cup of tea.
Well, I'll make you a cup of tea.
Said good morning to us.
One shouldn't be hidebound by superficial manners. Here at the mansion, we place far more emphasis on the fundamental values such as honesty and caring.
Are you the headmaster?
Yes.
Just had a complaint from some lady that she was mugged by 3 of your students outside Smith's on the High Street.
I hate rushing lunch. Oh, really? Now have raging acidity for the rest of the day.
Ooh, urgent. I wonder what it can be.
Just giving you advance warning, folks. I didn't have time for a shower.
This is absolutely outrageous.
Ladies and gentlemen, sorry to call this meeting at such short notice.
It's perfectly all right, Headmaster.
No, it's not all right. I dropped a sprout on the stairs.
How long will we be, Headmaster? I've got 6 girls outside waiting for me to take them on community service.
We'll be as quick as we can, Harriet.
It's just that Mrs. Benson's only been given 3 months to live.
Headmaster, before we start, could I put in a plea to tell catering staff that there are flavours of yoghurt other than peach melba?
If staff could take their seats now, please.
Oh, he's in a mood.
As you know, the Mansion School was founded over 200 years ago.
235, to be precise, Headmaster.
Thank you, Lawrence.
In August.
And over the years, our good standing in the community...
It's discipline.
...has been founded on certain principles of conduct and behaviour nurtured here at the school.
It's definitely discipline.
Now, as headmaster, it is my job to take an overview from time to time, and it has struck me recently...
He's been speaking to parents again.
Whether I've been speaking to parents or not is neither here nor there.
Let me guess, they went round St. Bernard's yesterday and said how lovely the boys were.
Look, it's got nothing to do with St. Bernard's. Anyway, it was last week.
We've lost a couple of parents.
Oh, dear, just a couple.
Don't worry, Headmaster. At the end of the year, we'll have all the Harrow rejects hammering at our door as usual.
The point I'm trying to make is that the school's image has become seriously tarnished.
Ask Mrs. Rutley what she thinks of our pupils on community service who have just built her a wheelchair ramp.
Or ask Mrs. Tutt, a local senior citizen who was assaulted in the High Street by 3 of our boys this morning.
Good for them.
Namely, Huntley, Zalacosta, and Botany.
Oh, good Lord, they're all in my form.
Sit down, Lawrence.
I must go and speak to them immediately.
I already have. Now, come back! Sit down. Now, I've spoken to the boys, and they say it was some kind of misunderstanding, something to do with the bus doors closing and Hugo Botany's fencing equipment.
What's the fuss? We've made it to half-term and there's been no armed robberies or serial killings.
I agree with you, Headmaster. I was travelling home on the tube last week when 5 pupils, all from a certain colleague's form, were using the F word with tiresome regularity.
What word is that, then?
Yes, thank you.
Oh, you mean
Yes, thank you, Lawrence. Sorry, Headmaster. Look, you've got a clear set of school rules, and it's our job to see that they're enforced.
Get all.
Sorry. Didn't have time for lunch, either.
Well, let's start with uniform. Now, Jean, what does the rule book say?
Oh, well, it does need a bit of updating, Headmaster.
Oh, stop prevaricating, Jean. Just read it.
Rule number 1. Knickerbockers must be worn at all times during the Michaelmas term. Rule number 2. Booters must be worn at all times.
Yes, all right. Thank you, Jean.
Oh, look. I've just found a bulldog clip in my shepherd's pie.
Suggestions, anyone, as to where Donald should put it?
Actually, Headmaster, while we're on the subject of rules, can anyone tell me if pupils are actually allowed to talk in the library or not?
Yes.
No, yeah.
Oh, surely within reason.
Absolutely not. What's the point of having a library? There's no silence.
So what do you do if you want to borrow a pen or take out a book?
Smoke signals.
Yes, look, can we just...
Oh, no, that would set off a fire alarm, wouldn't it?
Because I was whispering in there the other day.
Ladies and gentlemen...
But apparently my whispering is louder than my talking.
What argument can there be? There's a sign saying silence.
Yes, but it means quiet.
Let's get back to
That's the same thing. Just as there is supposed to be complete silence before assembly.
During assembly would be nice.
Ladies and gentlemen...
If people will chatter and giggle through my musical interludes,
Please.
I'll stop doing them altogether.
Can we have that in writing, please?
Quiet!
Is that a quiet or a silent quiet?
Rule number 97, no talking in assembly. Actually, Jean, make that no talking or giggling in assembly. I hate it when they giggle. So, Jean, make that no talking or giggling in assembly. Oh, and whispering. Whispering's more irritating than giggling. So, Jean, make that no talking or giggling or whispering. In fact, no communication, verbal or otherwise, in the assembly hall. And corridors. And stairwells. Quadrangles, car parks, squash court, rifle range. In fact, anywhere on the school property during term time. In fact, any time at all. Except holidays. No, including holidays. That'll give something to think about. Right, Jean. Rule number 98. Oh, yes. Ties to be worn at all times. Except, of course, when playing games. I mean, do we have to spell it out, Jean? We can't spell everything out, do we? I mean, pupils to use both feet alternately when walking? Right. Rule number 99. All staff to be addressed as Sir, especially me.
Yeah?
Sorry to bother you, Mr. Wigley.
Make it brief and put that down.
The thing is, I've got to take some pupils to the French Institute, and on the way back I've arranged to meet Harriet and her pupils from community service, and I was wondering if I could possibly use the minibus. But if it's in any way inconvenient, and I realise it probably is, then of course we can use public transport. In fact, walk through Hyde Park will probably do us the world of good. In fact, you're right. The last thing one wants to do on a day like today is be cooped up in a silly old minibus, and that's quite apart from the parking problem.
If there is one scratch on it...
Oh, I'll be very careful, I promise.
I'm very good at finding scratches.
Thank you, Mr. Wigley.
Yeah. I think you better leave, don't you?
All right, Lucy?
Yep.
Right, let's see. Who's next? Mrs. McBride. Arguably the most self-centered person I've ever met. Some people in the world actually deserve a dialysis machine. The sooner there's a power cut in Brent, the better. Lucy, what's the matter?
He just never complains.
Who?
Mr. Mulrooney. He's as thin as anything and he can hardly walk.
Oh, Lucy, you mustn't let it get to you.
He had to sell his VC medal to pay for a damp course that doesn't work. That's why he's in there for pneumonia.
Lucy, look.
The electricity board sent him a bill for $17,800 and he asks me if I'm all right.
Lucy, I know how you feel, but if you start collapsing into tears, you're no use to them.
He says he lives for Tuesdays and he's so grateful to the Mansion School for everything.
That is resting on, but no further than the comma. Number 126, pupils not to speak to staff unless spoken to.
Oh, really? That's out of the arc. I'm not putting that in.
Please don't let it be litter duty.
Please, not litter duty.
You never had litter duty. I've had it the last 3 times in a row, and if there's any justice in this universe, I will not get litter duty.
What's everyone got against litter duty? It's just a few spot checks round the school in breaks and patrolling the bus stop in the high street 4 times a day.
4 times a day.
Oh, one-way duty, yes! Just plonk myself at the entrance to the main school and read the paper.
Well done.
Donald!
Bloody litter duty. Please, please, I promise I'll never hit parents again.
Come on, Donald, there are 20 slips in there. The chances of you getting litter duty again are minute.
Minute, yes.
Life's a bitch, isn't it?
Never mind, I'll cook him a chili con carne tonight.
Excuse me, does anyone know what yard duty means?
Yes, Lawrence, it means you're on duty in the yard.
Thank you.
Sir?
You know the new one-way system, Crotty?
I need to go to the toilet, sir. It's just...
It doesn't matter. Go back through the science block, down the stairs, past the secretary's office, get on the tube at Wembley Park, change at Baker Street, get the 149 bus back to school. And then you can use the toilets.
Humphrey Slotover, you know the rule about running in yards. Stop running, please.
Put a bit of beef into it, Lawrence.
Humphrey Slotover, stop running.
This is the Humphrey more the Slotover.
Oi, Slotover,
Louder,
stop running.
louder,
Stop
louder.
running. Stop running! Sorry, I meant Slotover.
And look at Jean struggling to get in that door.
Oh, yes, of course.
No, not you. Get a pupil to do it.
Right.
Oh, Lawrence, you couldn't give us a quick hand with the door?
No, Jean.
What?
I've got to get a pupil to do it.
Headmaster.
What?
Other way.
Now, let me see, where are we? Adam Huntley, 50 lines for not tucking your shirt in. Clive Crotty, 100 lines for borrowing a ruler without asking.
Sir, borrowing property without consent is 200 lines.
Oh, yes, you're quite right. Thank you, Clive. And Lucy Cornwell, a half detention for... Oh, can't remember. What was it for, Lucy?
Speaking without putting my hand up, sir.
Oh, yes, quite right.
She's done it again, sir. Serve you. Serve you.
Serve you.
Serve you.
It's all right, be quiet. Now, can we please stop wasting time and get on with the real purpose of being here, which is to learn something? Now, as I was saying yesterday, the French Revolution was a watershed in the history of Hugo Botany.
Yes, sir?
Your tie.
What about it, sir?
It's not there.
I've forgotten it, sir.
Now I'm going to have to put you in detention.
Yes, sir.
Again.
I know, sir.
For the 4th time.
5th.
Isn't it easier just to remember your tie? Now, can we please get on and finish this really important chapter before the end of the lesson? The French Revolution.
Hurry up with that detention book, Gilbo. All of the 3rd year except Humphrey Slotover.
Yes, he carried my oboe for me.
I've put 13 people in detention this week. I'm turning into a monster.
Jonathan Staples, breathing in assembly.
Between you and me, Eric, I'm not sure if I'm awfully keen on this whole business.
Oh, come on, Lawrence. I wouldn't miss one of the heads crackdowns for the world. It's like the grouse shooting season. Watch this. Oi! Zaracosta! Take your hands out of your pockets! Tuck your shirt in, get your hair cut, stop slouching! And shut up! There, you see? I feel better already. Who needs squash when you can take it out on the kids?
Here we are in the staff room, which is absolutely sacrosanct. No pupils are allowed in here at any time.
Or parents and master.
What? And over here is the detention book, which is filled out every Friday. Yes, it's quite a few names in it this week. We like to nip things in the bud early around here. And, of course, we have a member of staff specially allocated to monitor things like pupils' appearance, behaviour in public places, punctuality, litter. Not that we have a problem with litter, though. Do we, Donald? This way, please.
Headmaster's coming, sir.
That's a donkey.
Donald.
Headmaster.
Mr. and Mrs. Brewster have seen the school now, including the cheesy what's-it packet by the doors of the science block, a Snickers wrapper in the shrubbery by the squash courts, a half-eaten Savoy chips stuffed in the hand-dry in the boys' lavatory, and a rather unsavoury centrefold in the memorial garden. It seems the message to our pupils is not getting through yet.
Oh, and we wouldn't expect them to drink coffee in the classroom, would we, Donald? Are you sure it was our minibus?
My grandmother said it had the mansion school on it, so that does narrow it down a bit.
I can't understand it. Our staff are extremely responsible.
She said the driver was a rather gormless-looking chap with glasses.
Oh, yes.
Anyway, Nana will be out of hospital tomorrow, but to be honest, she's getting a bit nervous at the mansion school, especially after that incident.
I can assure you they were dealt with most severely.
You've suspended them, then?
No, not as such.
Ah, because Nana said if you didn't suspend them, then she'd prosecute.
What?
Or maybe it was go to the press.
Press?
Any little dream.
Oh, thank you, Donald.
Thank you, dear. Thank you, dear.
Headmaster's not in, Donald.
I know.
What are you doing? Don't stop.
And I think I can say without fear of contradiction, the mansion school is a byword for responsible behaviour.
Open my shoulders to one, open my shoulders.
decorators. Afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Right. Item 1.
A question, Headmaster.
Yes, Eric?
Are the pupils allowed a phone call to their solicitor before we beat them senseless?
Item 1.
Sorry I'm late, Headmaster, but I've just spent the last half hour chasing this round the first 11 pitch. Oh, and just to warn staff, 5D might be a little late for their mocks this afternoon, as I've got them vacuuming the Watford bypass.
Thanks, Donald. Right. Item 1. Just to say that I've asked Huntley's, Alacosta and Botany not to attend school for the rest of the week. What? Right, item 2, the proposal for electric fencing...
Hang on. What did you say?
Well, just in view of the Mrs. Tutt affair, I just thought it would be better if the boys stayed at home for a while.
You mean you suspended them?
Look, after weighing up the evidence objectively, it is my considered view...
Mrs. Tutt's threatened to go to the press, hasn't she?
Look, Harriet, I rather think this is a matter between myself and the boys' form master, don't you, Lawrence? You're staying surprisingly quiet on the subject.
It's because I've got nothing to say, Headmaster.
Oh.
Well, I have rather a lot, actually, but I daren't say it because I don't know what I might say.
Right. Well, back to Mrs. Tutt.
But since you ask, Headmaster, I have to say I am a little bit miffed. Well, not a little bit, actually, rather a lot, actually. In fact, to put it bluntly, Headmaster, I'm rather cross.
Oh.
Quite honestly, I'm speechless about the whole thing. Well, obviously not speechless, because I'm talking now, but... There, I've said my piece.
Sorry, Lawrence, what exactly have you said?
These 3 boys should never have been suspended, Headmaster.
Yes, it's scandalous, with all due respect, Headmaster. And what is more, I had to cancel the third-year outing to the French Institute to see Bar the elephant because they were all in detention. I never want to hear that dreaded D word again.
Well said, Lawrence.
Hear, hear.
Let's storm the lecture hall and set the boys free.
That's I learned the language, lad.
Yes, well, Mrs. Tutt might have been more indulgent to us had Lawrence not mown her down with a school minibus. It's all right, Lawrence. She'll be out of hospital tomorrow.
Hospital? Good Lord.
So, Harriet, what would you have me do with pupils who misbehave? Take them out to lunch?
They do at St. Bernard.
Well, they don't, do they?
No, I was lying, Master. But they do make their pupils do community service. If you ask me, I think we should make the boys visit Mrs. Tutt in hospital.
Oh, yes, and then I could go and apologise in person.
No, Lawrence, I don't think that would be wise.
It would be very good publicity for the school, Headmaster.
And I'm especially proud of this new pilot scheme of mine, where instead of punishing pupils with mindless detentions, I send them out on community service. You may have seen my interview in this week's local newspaper. In fact, a group of pupils and a member of staff are at this very moment visiting a patient in Northbridge Hospital and bringing her home. Hello, Eric. Hello there, young lady.
Yes, but sir, they were only sunglasses.
You don't wear them in chapel, Lucy.
So does that mean I've got a detention then, sir?
Oh, no, not under our new caring regime. You can either go to the school greenhouse and grow me a beef tomato by Monday, or visit a psychopath of your choice in Wandsworth Prison. Up to you.
And remember, boys, some of the people in here are very, very sick indeed, so no laughing.
Sir?
Yes.
You're in the way.
Sorry. Can I give you a hand?
Oh, I've managed for the past 5 years, thank you.
By the way, Lawrence Didcott of the Mansion School, and I'd like to say on behalf of the whole school that we think you do a marvellous job.
Thank you.
And this is Adam Huntley, also of the Mansion School, and this is Anthony Zalacosta, who actually did a first aid course here last term.
Look, I've got to go. Can I help?
Yes, if you could tell us where Mrs. Tutt is, we've come to fetch her.
Down the end. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got an emergency.
Oh, good Lord. Is there anything we can do to help?
You can go down to Theatre 2 and remove a gallbladder if you like.
Boys, don't stare. Mrs. Tutt, Lawrence Didcott of the Mansion School. Firstly, I'd like to say how very sorry we all are about that unfortunate incident. And please accept these as a token of the school's goodwill.
Well, it's very kind of you, Mr. Didcott, but I'm afraid I can't possibly accept them.
Oh? Why?
because I'm not Mrs. Tutt.
You're late.
Mrs. Tutt, Lawrence Didcot of the mansion...
I know.
Boys, Adam, Anthony, you...
Mrs. Tutt, we'd just like to say how sorry we are, and we'd like you to accept these on behalf of the school.
No, thank you. I get hay fever.
And if you need any chores done, or if you need any work around the house, just let us know.
Oh, as a matter of fact, I've made a list. Plus, I want to do a Tesco's and drop by my building society.
We could build you a kitchen extension while we're at it, if you like.
Now, you boys help Mrs. Tutt down, and I'll organise a wheelchair. Oh, good Lord, is he all right?
Right as rain. He's just putting it on. Now, out of the way, please.
Out of the way, boys, out of the way.
Not them, you.
And don't look at him. You know what you're like with the sight of blood. Now, shall we go down?
Can I get out now?
No, Mrs. Tutt. The boys will take in your shopping and turn your heating on for you, because it's probably rather cold in there. And I'll get your wheelchair out.
I told you I don't need a wheelchair. Oh, and don't forget to take your shoes off. Right. Can I get out now?
No, just a moment. Mrs. Tutt, I'm going to back up nearer the curb. Oh, golly!
And at the end of the day, what matters to us most is that the mansion is seen as a caring school with a responsibility not only to ourselves but to the community as a whole. Hello, can I help you?
Master, it's Lawrence from a call box.
Ah, the member of staff I was telling you about. Hello, Lawrence. Did you pick Mrs. Tutt up from hospital? You did? Oh, splendid. And what about her home? Did you make it all comfy and cosy for her? You did? Marvellous. And is she with you now, Lawrence? Oh, she's in the corner shop. Bless her.
No, Headmaster. No, you don't understand, actually.
So, that was the mansion school, then?
Yes, and the headmaster's name is Piper. Leslie Piper.